Hey guys, it's been a while since I did a live stream, so I just thought I would do one so I don't forget what I'm doing. It took a little while to get get used to the StreamYard and all that kind of stuff. So just want to kind of refresh myself on it. And yeah, I was asking Skull about some tips about the music in the background and stuff, and I think Skull's the right guy to ask about that. He seems to know quite a lot about that. So but tonight's stream is just going to be just basic stuff about some of the cathedrals and some of the narratives that have been built around that. And I hope that the sound is okay, guys. I got my Hello Kitty set back again. You know, found it. I'd lost it, but I've got it back again. So, all right. So, sounding good. That's good. We'll get started then. First building we're going to talk about is Cologne Cathedral. And obviously, this is the one that everyone goes to for talking about, how these buildings were impossible to build in the day and age that they say that they should have been built. I actually just had my buddy in here. He's not really my buddy, but Kevin, my coworker, talking about this building and asking him from an engineering point of view, how could they possibly have built this thing in the day and age that they said they built it? Now, I want to pull up the Wikipedia article about that. So, Cologne Cathedral in the city of Cologne. It's obviously a UNESCO site, because that stops you from going in there and exploring and trying to find out what actually did happen. But it says the site of Cologne Cathedral has been occupied by Christian churches since about the 4th century. An older cathedral was destroyed by fire in 1248. So these time periods are crazy because, as we know, what they say is that this cathedral was being built whilst the Great Famine was going on in Europe. So the Great Famine in Europe, I'm just going to pull that over this Wikipedia article about that. So from the 14th century, which is 1300s right up to the 1400s, there was famines all over Europe. People were struggling to survive. They were struggling to live. It says here that for most people, there was often not enough food to eat, and life was relatively short and brutal in the struggle to survive to old age. And yet, we are told in the middle of that they're building buildings like this. Yeah, funny, Curtis. Construction workers didn't need food, and neither did the horses, right? The horses, or, there's so much to that. They didn't have any food, but yet that's the narrative that we're told, that these buildings were built during a time when there was no food available, which is ridiculous. Gonna move on to the next slide. So, and then I was trying to ask Kevin, who's an engineer who works in this place that I work in, how on earth did they build and construct these ornate windows and decorative ornaments on this building in the 1300s, 13 to 1400s, with no equipment that we know of, because the narrative tells us that all they had was horses and buggies and ropes and pulleys. Now, there is a narrative around this cathedral. Let's see if I can pull that up. But the cathedral was built, and they left a crane there, a wooden crane, Curtis, a wooden crane, when they were building this magnificent building, which is ridiculous. I mean, a wooden crane to support some of these bricks, some of these blocks, would have been pretty ludicrous. And to build the crane alone would have took a long time. So we'll move on to the next slide. But yeah, such a glorious building to be built in the 13th to 14th century, which is just beyond reason. Hey, Wendy. Good to see you. And good to see everybody in the chat, actually. Mr. Beast, Doug's here. Curtis is here, Curtis47. Beyond Language, how you doing, bro? Skull Asylum, I hope you're still here. Just going back in the chat to see who's actually here. Thank you guys for joining me. I'm just streaming because I haven't streamed in a long time, and I just want to keep make sure that I'm being current with my streams, and make sure that we are moving forward. But yeah, just there's so much nonsense going on in the world today, especially with. Okay, I was looking at the news today. So the news today is about, again, Joe Biden. Most of it's about, well, there's Kamala Harris saying that she's getting the leader Netanyahu to agree to a peace agreement in the Middle East. It's the same narratives, guys. It's the same narratives that we've been fed for, 40, 50 years now, and it takes our eyes off what we should be looking at, really. But then I looked at the Joe Biden one. It says our economy is pulling off something historic. So apparently we're the best economy in the world. But yet people are struggling to buy food and clothing and to feed their families, except for the people who are in charge, as we know, because that's the narrative that we've been given, to believe those guys. But the next building I wanted to move on to was I forget what this was actually called. Marienburg East in Prussia, right? Marienburg East. Another glorious building. Glorious building, right? And so to be able to build this in the time frame that they said they could build this is beyond reason. Let's look at what the Wikipedia says about that. Marienburg Castle. Again, it's saying this castle was built between 1858 and 1867. And it was a birthday present to George V of Hanover in Germany. Well, in the 1800s, we obviously know that they didn't have the equipment to build this kind of building. If we just take a look at this building, it's glorious. It's so glorious. And also, not to mention glorious, but it's high up in elevation as well. And any builder who knows how to build anything is going to say, like, how would you even start this foundation? Look at the shape of this foundation of this building. It seems to sink down into the ground. And part of the foundation has become rock, apparently. Apparently, it has become rock. So we know that with what we're looking at, the melted buildings, when bricks melt, they do actually change appearance. They will change in size. Sometimes they will grow astronomically in size because of the heat that causes a metamorphosis in the bricks because of the heat that's being supplied. The expansion, as we talk about. But this is ludicrous to think that people would put this building on top of this hill. You can plainly see that the foundation it goes into the ground, which is just ridiculous. So any builder will tell you, that is just ludicrous. And the inside of this building here has so much ornate features. So much. Again, in a time period where people were supposedly not doing so well. Normal people were not doing so well. Like, look at some of the decorations on this building, on the inside. So people were starving. Either we have to believe that people were starving whilst these people were building these kind of glorious buildings and people were dying, or we have to say that the story is not correct. Maybe they weren't maybe there was no famine at all. We have to look at the narrative. As me and Curtis talk about a lot, it's about breaking the narrative. Really, that's our enemy, is the narrative that they've created around us. It's just like the flat earth stuff. When we looked at that, it's the same idea, that people were indoctrinated with those ideas. Another view of that same castle, just showing you the gloriousness of this building. And was it possible in the 1800s? We know that we've been lied to on many levels, and we're just beginning to discover that there are other levels, not just the flat earth, not just all the other things, anti-evolution stuff that we learned, but now we're learning that this place could have well been melted at some point in history. And this one's crazy. Like, look at the foundation on this thing. This foundation is set into this mountain, as we would have called it. But really, now that we know, or we think we know, I wouldn't say we know, but we have evidence to suggest that this entire mountain was a building at one point, which seems to make sense. Like, why would you dig into the side of this mountain to start this foundation? And you'll notice that some of the bricks, they're popping out, they're bubbling out, like we've seen on other buildings where it has received heat damage from the bottom, coming from the bottom up in a lot of cases. So just to show you, this castle is so glorious to be built in the 1800s with men with horses and donkeys and pulleys and ropes, and that's basically all they had. It's just crazy to think about that they did that. This is another view. I think this is a different one, actually. This is Marienburg, East Prussia. Marienburg, another glorious building. And let's take a look at the narrative of Marienburg. Okay, so Marienburg Castle. This castle was built between 1858 and 1867. That is the same castle, I'm sorry. But yes, just look how glorious that thing is. To build something like that today would require a lot of money and cranes and all kinds of equipment, technological equipment. Even this window on the outside here, I mean, that to construct that window alone in this day and age would require a lot of money and a lot of time and equipment that they supposedly did not have back in the day that they built this building. Hey, Red Storm, how you doing? Glad to see you here. All right, this is the new one. This is, let me see what castle this is. This is Schwein Castle. Schreiner Castle. And my German is not very good. You'll have to excuse me. My German is not that good. So, Schreiner Castle. Again, glorious building. Okay, and some of it we can see, like some of this is underwater. Like especially this wall is underwater. So to create this foundation, which you must have it for a wall. This foundation would have to be underwater. And how would you do that? So you'd have to bank off all of this area to try to make sure there's no water in this area so that we can lay this foundation for this bridge that they're going to have here. It's ludicrous. When you start looking at this stuff, it's just ludicrous to think that they would do this. And this one over here, obviously it looks like it's built from rocks, basically, like Barney Rubble built this little jetty, I guess you might call it. But Barney Rubble built this. But why would you do this? Why would you, if you had a glorious building such as this, why are you going to go in here and build this out of misshapen, missized, just completely random blocks? Why would you do it? You wouldn't. You wouldn't do it. So this just shows us that this water probably wasn't here when this building was first created. I know that's the narratives that we're given about the histories of these buildings are saying that they were built in 1800s, no problem. They had all the equipment they needed. They had donkeys, they had ropes, they had everything like that. I'm saying that's bullshit. That this was not built at the time period they say. And this water was probably not there because you wouldn't be able to build this foundation around this thing. So just going to move forward. See what the name of this one is. This is St. Vitus Cathedral in Prague. St. Vitus. All right, so let's take a look at that one. St. Vitus Cathedral. Again, glorious building. Glorious building. To build these arches on these windows would be a challenge. Anybody who knows anything about building knows that doing these arches on these windows is not easy. you'd have to have a design, a plan. You'd have to have the exact same components, for each window to make them look identical almost. To say that these people created this in the 1800s, 1800s, is just ludicrous. Let's see if we can pull up the Wikipedia article on that one. St. Vitus Cathedral. So the Metropolitan Cathedral of St. Vitus in the Czech Republic, right? Look for the year of this thing. Okay, so the building of this cathedral began on the 21st of November, 1344. 1344. What was happening in 1344? Well, we know that, even according to Wikipedia, that the Great Famine was going on in those times. And if you look in here, it says during the 14th century, and it gives you a list of dates. And 1344 is amongst those dates, by the way. The Great Famine happened in Europe. So whilst these people were starving to death, again, they were building this kind of building. Something doesn't make sense. I'm going to drop the StreamYard link in there in case anybody wants to chat. If you want to come up on here and discuss some things. But I just wanted to come on here and stream because I hadn't done it in a while. And, I don't want to lose touch with everybody. Yeah, exactly, Mr. Beast. No electricity, no extension cords, no nothing. There was no power tools, nothing. And they were able to build this kind of building in 1300s. The 1300s, guys. That's just crazy. If anybody wants to come and chat with me, that's fine. I would enjoy that. But that's the castles that I was wanting to look at today. I want to take this to a simpler level because, as me and Curtis have discussed many times, it's not the information that we know is not really entirely all that we need, because the narrative is the thing that's driving all of this stuff. The narrative. Now, this is from my introduction video, and this is the buildings that were or bricks that were kind of getting damaged, and with the heat, and it's just impossible. Yeah, Mr. Beast, it's impossible for this wall to be bowed like this. It didn't happen when they built it. It had happened afterwards, right? And this is from my introduction video, which I'm going to do another one, by the way, which is going to be a little bit better, with a little bit more, information with it. But these walls are clearly damaged brick walls. Damaged brick walls. But like we've talked about, people find it hard to see that the mountains are melted buildings. People find that hard to see, but they do get that this is a damaged wall. This is not how they built this wall. Everybody agrees that the blocks have been damaged, right? So we need to break the narrative around this stuff, and just because that's what it is all the time. It's like a religion, if you like. And I know we don't like religion, right? We're not a fan of that. But religion is basically where you're thinking about something without knowing what it is, without evidence. You are moving in a direction that is being is being steered by a narrative, a philosophy. You know, belief is the enemy of knowing. Okay, that's a famous saying, I guess, from Crow. But yeah, belief is the enemy of knowing. But we can look at these bricks and we can tell that this is damaged. This is not built like this. Bricklayers did not run out of bricks and then suddenly decide they were going to use a huge boulder on top of these bricks. I mean, they had bricks, right? And then what do you say about the gap between these bricks and the ones on top? It just doesn't make sense. You're not going to shove in this gap a block when you had bricks and you had bricks up here. It just wouldn't happen. And you would not be cutting bricks to fit in with these other blocks. It just doesn't make any sense. Yeah, if you want to come up here, Mr. Beast, that's fine. Any of you can. That's no problem. I'll throw the StreamYard in there again. But we're basically just destroying the narrative, trying to. At least that's my goal. So this wall was not built like this. There's no way that this wall was built janky like this. So it's been damaged, obviously. All right, so again, from an introduction video, but showing that these bricks also are damaged. This house was not built with damaged bricks. These people did not put in these muffed up bricks into this building. If they'd have been doing it, they would have made it like this one. They'd have made the windowsill just like this. Straight, right? Not muffed up. But if you go down to these ones, yeah, they're muffed up. They're sticking out. They're sticking in. Nothing about it makes sense. Nothing about it. And this is my favorite one, is these melted, they almost look metallic, a little bit. And I guess it would be, because if the iron comes out, it would be kind of metallic, right, on the outside. So it would become steel, if it was losing the impurities in it, right? But how does does this builder build this house with these odd shaping bricks in it? The ones that are sticking out and they're melted and they're drooping down. There's no way. There is no way. Something damaged this building, and it looks like a lot of heat did. This one here looks almost completely metallic, like it's lost all of its iron or lost all of its impurities, and it's become steel. Yeah, they're droopy inside. They're sad bricks. But they didn't buy these bricks from the brickyard, right? I mean, the only explanation for this here is that this got a lot of heat damage, and bricks melt at, it's like 1700 degrees centigrade. I think it's like 2,900 degrees Fahrenheit, something like that. But they will melt because there's iron inside the bricks. That's why they're red. And when the iron starts melting, yeah, they will conform to the surroundings. They'll become kind of molten almost. But yeah, that's what's happened. I mean, there's no way someone built this like that on purpose. So moving on. Okay, I'm sorry. My numbers were a bit wrong. 1,600 degrees to 2,800 degrees Celsius or centigrade. That's what bricks will melt at. That's the temperature. And you guys can do the conversion to Fahrenheit if you want. But this is about Zvereg. I can't even say it. My Russian's not very good. But yeah, that's where they did the napalm event, where it shows plainly that the bricks do melt. They do melt at a high temperature. It's one image of Zvereg. And here's another one. And this one got fairly hot inside. And they said it was a napalm event. So very high temperature for a very short space of time. And obviously it revealed all the bricks in behind that aren't damaged, in behind that wall. So these are all damaged bricks. If this was even more damaged, it would start to look like a cave. And it even is at the bottom. You can see it, that it's starting to look like a rock. It doesn't look like bricks anymore because it melted so much. So the more heat that's given, the more you're going to see these bricks transitioning into blocks, what we would call rocks in a cave. So it's plain to see, and this was a recent event apparently, that's what happens when you heat up bricks. They look like rocks almost. This one was hot enough even to melt this steel, this event. Okay, so let's say there was another event years ago, an event that covered the whole entire world, where everything was melted at a high temperature for a short period of time. So you'd get buildings that were completely melted. Okay, you would get buildings that were partially melted, perhaps. It would be random because it just depends on the composition of the bricks, and it depends on how much heat and how much, how long it lasted for. And you would get differences in appearance in the bricks. So in some places, you're getting places like Moab that are completely and utterly, destroyed and looks like almost sand. It's been completely destroyed. And good point, Wendy. Can we be certain? No, we go on evidence. We're going on the evidence that we're looking at, about these things, which really takes away any guesswork. We're trying to put the puzzle pieces together. So we don't really know for certain. That's a good point. But we do know for certain that this here image shows that bricks melt, and the previous image too. Bricks melt at a certain temperature. So we know that. That's evidence to say that, yes, this does happen. Bricks do melt. And they become a different composition altogether once they've lost their iron and all that. So here you can see, this is Zagreb again, that same napalm event. All around this column here, the bricks look like it's a cave, right? So it looks like it's a cave all around this, but if it weren't for this little pocket of survival, we would assume that this is a cave. Say this all had been damaged to the same point, then every bit of it would look like a cave. But because it wasn't, this shows us the evidence that not all the bricks got damaged in this event, but the rest did. And as you can see, when you look at the bottom, this just looks like a normal, what they would say is a cave, a naturally formed cave. But it's not, because we know that this was an event. This was a napalm event, which melted all the bricks around us here, and it left some of them, thankfully, because now we've got evidence. Oh yeah, Curtis, yeah, the patterns, yep, I wish you would come up here and talk to me about it, Curtis, because yeah, the patterns are everywhere. Now that you've mentioned that, again, if you needed more convincing, right, that this brick, look at the bricks right here, and then right beside it, it looks like a cave. Look at that. It's a cave over here, but it's bricks right here. How can that be? Because they melted. And you can see that they were melting up here too. So what I want you to do is just think in your mind, if this can happen to bricks and it becomes like this, then each time we look at a cave, we should be saying to ourselves, I wonder what's behind that cave-like looking surface. If we could dig into that cave and behind that surface, more than likely you're going to find bricks in behind it. That's what we're saying. So what they do is they designate these places as oh, I got Mr. Beast on with me.
Hey,
Bro, how you doing?
good. How are you?
Hey, that's good to talk to you, man. I thought I was all alone tonight.
No,
Huh?
I'm here with you, bro.
Just looking at this, what do you say, Mr. Beast? I mean, that looks like a cave right here, right?
Oh yeah, it looks like a cave for sure.
And then there's a brick inside it,
They must have
right?
carved that with their teeth.
Oh, did they? But like every time we're looking at these caves, it should be in the back of our minds that what's behind that skin, right? The skin of it, or fascia, I guess would be the term, but
That is insane, man.
isn't it, dude? I mean, if that pocket of survival wasn't there, we would assume this whole thing was a cave.
Even if I would have come up on that, just not knowing anything, I would never have thought for a second that that was a fucking cave.
Right? I mean, the bricks are obviously melting from the ceiling, from I guess they said it was a napalm event, right?
Right.
But I'm not sure if that's true or not, but it doesn't matter. It was hot.
Is this
Whatever happened.
is this the one in Russia or something?
That's the Zagreb
Yeah.
Fort Zagreb, I think it's
I
called.
think
Mr.
Jen
Beast.
fucking did this one, right?
Yep. Yep. I
Yeah.
think she did. It's so simple though. This one here to me is the most simple one for people, Mr. Beast, because there's bricks right there.
Oh yeah, you can see them plain as day, man.
And then right beside
Plain
it,
as fucking day.
this looks like what they would say is a naturally formed cave like material, right?
Naturally formed.
I know it's absolutely insane, bro. It's
Oh my
absolutely insane.
god.
But I like these ones because it's so simple.
Yeah, it's pretty much in your face, right? Like,
Yeah. I mean, down here, it just looks like that's rock right there, right? It looks like
yeah.
what they would
Oh,
call
yeah.
rock.
Raw.
Over here on the other side, you've got bricks. It's ludicrous. It's ludicrous, bro.
It's
I know.
amazing that people can't see the same shit we do, man.
Yeah, I know.
Like, it's fucking absolutely insane.
Well, I had a guy in here yesterday. He's an engineer that works with me called Kevin, right? And Melanie and Doug, they know who Kevin is. But I showed him Cologne Cathedral, right? And I'm like,
Yep.
how did they build that in the 1800s, or the time frame that they said they built it? I think it was 13th to 14th century. And he started making up all this stuff in his head about how they had advanced technology, how they had, their better craftsmanship. They make up all these different reasons. Bob, right? Bob is your first name. Is it okay if I say
Yeah.
that? Okay,
I don't care.
but I don't want to dox you. But he was like making up all these narratives, Bob, about how he thought that could be done. And I'm saying, they didn't have that equipment in those days, Kevin. You know,
There's no fucking way, man. No way.
supposedly they didn't. You know, but thanks for joining me, bro. I mean,
Yeah, it's nice to be here, man.
I just wanted to. I haven't streamed for a while, dude, and I've had some personal things going on, so I haven't been able to do it for a while. But
Yeah, I get it. It's okay, man.
fixing to get back into it again. Do a
Life
bit more.
happens.
Oh, dude, we've all got lives going on in amongst all this stuff. Let me see if I can pull up another folder. I've been trying to build these folders, different. I've
You
even
don't
got
have folders like Japu, right?
not as many as he does, dude. No way. He's got more folders than Yandex, right?
I don't even
you know.
think computer programs can fucking handle the amount of programs or folders he has.
Yeah. Another thing I look into, Mr. Beast, is the AI, and what they're doing with that. I don't know if it's even interesting to you, but I just see that they're building that up. You know what I mean? As I mean, many of us think that it's a demon.
Yeah, it looks like it.
I mean, I know you're not religious. I mean, I'm not either, really, to be honest with you, Mr. Beast. But just
It's
what they're
not. It's
doing.
not that I'm not religious. It's just that I just don't. I'm married into a religious family.
Yeah.
So I hear about the Bible all the time.
Yep.
And it was shoved in my face so much that I just got to the point where I just didn't want to hear about it anymore.
Exactly. There's a lot of hypocrisy goes with it, Mr. Beast. I've noticed that myself. There's a lot of us that were in the Christian church, which is what most people think about when they're talking about religion, is Christian church stuff. And it's just hypocrisy. They don't even follow what the Bible says, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I know they don't.
You know what I mean? They don't do it.
Like, dude, you go into the parking lot of a Dutch Reformed church, and it's all BMWs and Mercedes and fucking money, 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 money.
Yep.
And then you go into the church, and it's all about, oh, we don't care about money. Money doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
And they're all sitting there staring at the fucking preacher, and you wonder, like, do you even listen to what you're being talked to about? Like, do you understand what's going on here?
Yes. I know they're blind, bro. They're blind to what's
It is. It's like a blind faith.
blindness. Yeah. And to me, that's religion, right? When you're talking about someone who believes in something that they don't even know if it exists or not, right? That's religion. But see, the Bible teaches that you're supposed to feed the poor. We're supposed to look after the needy.
Those are just natural human being feelings, right?
Exactly. It's in your heart.
I want to help people.
It's in your heart to do it.
It is in your heart.
Do the right thing. Yeah, that's what I say about it too, Mr. Beast. It should be in your heart. If it's not in your heart, then you've got problems.
Yeah,
right?
There's something wrong with you.
You've got problems.
Yeah.
But these images, dude, like I found these, and it was like some kind of celebration of the AI that they were doing in Brazil, I think it was. And these big, huge, they were like raves almost, from like the ones we used to have in the 90s, right? The raves, And I went to some of those.
Oh yeah.
These were like big raves, and
I was just watching Terminator, and I can see the fucking similarities.
Dude, it's crazy. They're glorifying this stuff, you know what I mean? And it's kind of scary. And I mean, I know with like all the, Tesla's coming in, and like we're being swamped by all this stuff. You know what I mean? They're pushing this agenda.
Yeah, they are. They're pushing it big time.
And I did find this one curious article, and this was World Economic Forum, right? Let me put that on the screen actually, just to show you 3 ways to ensure trust in a digital world. Right?
Trust in a digital world.
Dude, it's insane.
Okay.
Right?
Wow. That makes me feel so much better.
Bro, diverse voices are vital to creating a genuinely inclusive platform where the digital world becomes a trusted forum for different points of view. There was a whole big, I forget where they had this event, dude. Maybe Brazil. But talking about this AI and pushing it out there, this Davos 2024 stuff, you know what I mean?
Is that a George Soros thing?
Yeah, yes, you know it. They're all connected with it, dude.
Fucking
Dude,
A right he
you,
is.
every name we all know. I mean, we all know who these guys are. That almost every name you could mention would be involved in this, like
How does
Rothschilds.
Bill Gates
You
go
know,
from a fucking computer programmer to a fucking health organizer?
dude. Yeah, I wouldn't let him clean my windows. You know what I
Fuck
mean?
that shit.
No pun intended, right? But so here you go. You know, they had this. It was just a big event talking about getting people indoctrinated into accepting this AI and robotics and electric vehicles, and then it talks about see,
Electric vehicles are such a joke, man.
dude.
Like the charging stations are powered by a diesel generator. Like, are you fucking kidding me?
I know.
Like, how green is that?
Yeah, very
You're
green.
gonna power a diesel fucking generator to power electric cars,
Very
and people
green,
think
bro.
that's cool.
It's insane.
Oh my god.
We were looking at it, laughing about it the other day. It took 8 hours to charge one of these cars to do 130 miles. 130 miles. I mean, what for 8 hours? Are you kidding me?
Wow.
You know? I'm sorry. I'm just trying to find another interesting folder. Let's do Galway.
That doesn't even seem attractive.
No, dude. I mean, well, 15 minutes and I can get 300 miles, right? I can tank
And
up.
plus, they can shut down your car whenever the fuck they want.
Exactly. Well, that's what they want. I mean, they want everyone to accept this so that they can eventually threaten you with that, right? They can threaten you that we can shut down your vehicle. I mean, policing would be, there'd be nothing to it, right? They could just shut your car down.
I like the 80s vehicles where they don't have electronic ignition.
My car is a 2002 Chevy Silverado. It
Yep.
does not have any of that shit, Mr. Base. If everything goes down tomorrow, I'm still going to be running.
Yeah, they can push the button and I'm still driving,
Still
bitches.
driving.
Fuck you.
Yeah, and these cyber trucks, bro, coming in now.
Oh my god.
Fucking hell! It looks like a casket, right?
It
looks
does
like a
look like,
coffin.
actually, yeah, it does look
You
like
know?
a casket, man.
And
They're the ugliest fucking things ever.
you just wonder about people. Who's the people that are buying these things, dude? I mean, it
And
must be
why?
crazy.
Why?
Yeah,
Like, what is the attraction to that?
bro.
Like, you want to have a car that has batteries that start on fire?
Right. There's a website for that actually. Like, shows you how many Teslas have caught on fire since it started. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think they stopped recording though because I found one that was in Pennsylvania where it just burst into flames. And
Wow.
if you read the chart, everybody dies in those fires. Anybody who was in the
God.
vehicle, they die. Yeah, dude, it was
That's
fatality
sad.
every time.
That's sad.
I'm just wondering about the day when, like, if you're driving down the highway and 3 of these things catch on fire beside you, that whole highway is going to be shut down.
Fucking ain't right for hours.
Right? Because it
And
takes,
if I'm in that traffic jam, I'm gonna be fucking pissed.
I think it takes 3 days actually for those fires to fully go out. You know?
Well, probably because the fucking heat is so intense, right?
Yeah, it's crazy, bro.
Like the chemicals that are in there, like you have no idea how long they're gonna burn, right?
Yeah, no. Well, the cobalt, they're all explosive. Like, I worked in a place that made the machines that made the battery materials, Mr. Beast,
Yeah.
for a while. Sorry about that. I apologize, everyone. But yeah, those things are explosive. Those materials. They have to put them inside like steel guarding, so that if it does catch on fire, that the explosion won't kill everyone.
Oh my god.
In the factory. Yeah, it's pretty explosive. Cobalt and lithium. Yeah,
Lithium's terrible,
they're
man.
volatile. They're volatile materials. Yeah, because we just actually, the place I worked in, they built a machine for Tesla. You know, Tesla don't make their own batteries, right?
No.
They're buying them from Panasonic, I think it is, that they buy them from.
There's actually a battery factory going in just maybe a half an hour away from here, and the factory is fucking humongous. It's bigger than a fucking Amazon plant.
Yeah, it's getting out of control.
It's huge.
It's getting out of control, bro. I mean, we don't see too many over in this side of the world, you know, because I mean, Alabama's not really famous for anything like that, you know, like electric vehicles or anything. So we don't have all that. But I know out west, it's like crazy. You know, I mean, there's so many people buying those things. So
yeah, there's not too many people around here. I see a Tesla once in a while, but
do you know how to,
they're stupid people.
Do you know how to screen share, Mr. Beast, or anything like that?
No, I have not. I don't even know how to get chat.
Okay. Okay. I was going to say I need to take a short break, and I'll be back in just 5 minutes.
Yeah,
you know?
I'll entertain.
All right. So go ahead, bro.
Who has a Cybertruck or a fucking electric car in this chat? Anyone? Nobody around here has shit like that. Maybe electric scooters and stuff like that. This is such a stupid thing, man. Like, it would be great if we could have our free electricity like we're supposed to have in the ether. Like, it's all fucking... We live in an electromagnetic realm, man. Like, electricity is free. It would be great to have electric vehicles. But if I'm charging my electric vehicle with a fucking diesel generator, that doesn't seem so green. Somebody's making a fucking shit ton of cash off that. So stupid. Mel, you should be up here. Damn you. I have the same technology as you do, Mel. And you should be up here too. I think I'm getting a fucking strike for my music on my video. Copyright strike. They don't like fucking good music, I guess.
I'm sorry about that, bro.
Hey, Resistor.
I think we need to get those colostomy bags, Meltology colostomy bags for streaming.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I hear you.
To have to have all these breaks and
I just
stuff.
got a bottle, man. Just get a bottle.
Yeah. But man. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Curtis, the Offspring song, yes.
But the images I'm showing here are just castles in Ireland, just random places. Tipperary, I think this is. Just the usual nonsense, Mr. Beast, you know, where they're telling us that this was built in like, you know, 10th century, you know, this kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Like, what? Really?
What the fuck?
Are
you kidding me?
Into the side of the mountain, right? They made the foundation curvy, right?
Dude, I've always wanted to say, like,
bro,
who the fuck is gonna build something like that in the side of a fucking hill?
No, it's insane, bro.
Like, seriously.
No.
With horse and buggy.
I mean, I've been on building sites, Mr. Beast, and the foundation is level. It's like, you know what I mean? It's straight.
Unbelievable, man.
It's not like this. It doesn't curve. It's just insane. It's
retarded.
Yep.
It's absolutely retarded.
And I like to pick this here stuff, Mr. Beast, because a lot of people don't really. It's hard to see the big picture, you know, like the mountains and stuff. So I try to do it on a smaller level where you can actually see the differences. You know, you can see,
like when you go to Scotland and stuff, and you see castles and shit like that. There's no fucking way that people built stuff like that on the side of the fucking cliff next to the water with horse and buggy. It's impossible.
Yep. And I think this wall goes on down in there as well. You know what I mean? The wall probably was a nice wall when it started, you know, but it's not very nice now. But this one over here, the other side of it is kind of, you know, remaining. But this obviously was all the way around here, you know, at some point. I know we're speculating a little bit, but yeah, I mean, there's no way, dude.
No way. No way. We didn't build that shit.
And archways are not easy for any bricklayer.
Unknowingly.
You know? I mean, it's just crazy.
What happened? But
Eli says
we didn't build that shit.
Scots can build anything. Yep. Okay. I would say show me, Eli. Go ahead and build something like this, you know. There's bricks right there, obviously stuck in there, Mr. Beast.
Oh yeah,
you know,
for sure.
But to build an archway, it's just like that's going to take a lot of engineering. You know, you don't need just bricks.
Yeah, the building, the plans, logistics, all of it. It doesn't add up.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm distracted because they're doing REM references in the chat. I'm not a big fan of REM. You know what I mean? So,
I love REM.
Oh, you do, dude?
Yeah, they're a good band.
I'm sorry.
Sorry, Mal. Sorry.
I just never was a big fan of them. You know, shiny, happy people. Yeah. Not where I grew up. You know what I mean, dude?
Yeah, there's no shiny, happy people around here either.
Not where I grew up.
No.
So, but just ludicrous buildings. You know what I mean? These are just a selection of ones from Ireland, Mr. Beast, and so straight. Look at the corner; it's so straight.
And the greenery. Like how long does it take for that green shit to grow on the side of that building?
Fair enough. It's a good point.
Right?
Takes quite a while.
A long time, man.
Took quite a while. Yep. So obviously that building's been there for a while. Just picking up moss. And here's
like even if it was like 100 or 200 years, like there would have to be no human contact with that building whatsoever.
Yeah, true.
Right?
True. That's right. No one had touched it. No one touched it for hundreds of years, probably. Yeah. But here's another one. It's like super ornate. You know what I mean? Everything's beautiful. You know, supposed to be built in the 1700s, something like that, 1800s. Even these here little, what is this for? What do you think these are for? You know, I mean, dude, they'll say it's
I'm saying an airship that comes and fucking docks there.
Well,
and
could
people
be.
Get off.
They're gonna tell you that's for arrows, right? To shoot arrows out of.
Right.
Really? You know what I mean? Like, I mean,
yeah. We're shooting arrows off there.
You can build this building, but you've got bows and arrows, right? I mean, that's what you, dude. Come on, it's just none of it makes sense.
That's so funny, dude. It's kind of fun being up here with you.
Yeah, I like to have fun with it, Mr. Beast, because everything's so serious now. You know what I mean?
I know, it's just fucking retarded, man.
And people seem to get stuck in the flat Earth stuff. You know what I mean? They got stuck there.
Plus, they get butthurt when you fucking talk to them about shit.
I don't get it. You know, I mean, why would you stop? Why would you stop seeking the truth? You know, it doesn't seem to make sense to me. Why would they would do that? You know, supposed to be intelligent people. Most of the panels I watch now, it's just people sitting arguing about like how many subscribers they got and like how powerful they are. Well, I mean, who cares, right?
Yeah, you're not powerful unless you have fucking people's feelings involved.
It doesn't pay my bills. It doesn't help me go to work. You know what I mean?
You can have all the people you want behind you. It doesn't even matter. It's the
Yeah.
quality of the people that are behind you.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Like,
think so.
what do they believe what you believe, or are they just a subscriber because they just like being social?
Uh, Great point. Great point, Mr. Beast. I think like I'm all about people being together, as a community, because if we're not a community, we're powerless really on our own,
Absolutely.
just
Like
one
this,
voice.
our community is so powerful, man. It's unbelievable. And I
Yeah.
think that's why we've been allowed to go along this long without any like backlash, pretty much,
Yes. Yeah.
because they don't want to fuck with us.
I think you're right. Uh, Maybe we're protected. I don't know. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I'm a believer, Mr. Beast. I do believe in God. So I do believe He protects us, from
Well, I believe that too.
ones
Don't
who
get me
want to
wrong.
hurt us.
There is something that is making sure that we continue doing what we do.
Yeah. And but my view of God might be different from like what other people are saying. You know what I mean? I mean, I believe God is energy. Like He's because if He came down on this earth and melted the buildings, well, He's energy. And
Yep,
He's
absolutely.
powerful enough to do that. That's kind of how I see that. Uh,
It's
um,
something that we don't even understand or comprehend.
yeah. Oh yeah. No, I definitely don't have the answer to what happened, but it's like you say, if we're not a community, we're really going to be useless, on our own. So
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
I
And
like
that's
bringing
why
it
I
together.
try and support everyone that's in this community
Yeah,
all the time.
agreed, agreed. But then again, we do have people who come in that are a bit nefarious, if you like. I don't know if that's the right word, but uh, like their true colors have not been seen. You know what I mean? Until they've been there for a while,
Yeah.
Mister Beast. If you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
No, I hear you.
You know, and they end up.
It's easy to fucking fit in, but when shit hits the fan, I think
Yes,
your true colors are gonna shine.
that's right. That's right. Um, the analogy was used with me. It was if say you have a glass that has orange juice in it, you know what I mean, and someone bumps into you. Well, what's going to spill out of the glass? Orange juice, right? So, but if your glass is filled with bitterness and hatred and all those kind of things, and someone bumps into you, well, that's what spills out. If that makes sense, Mr. Beast, that
Yeah, I
analogy.
understand.
It's whatever's inside of you that when you get knocked,
Absolutely.
that's what spills out. You know what I mean? Whether it be anger or whatever.
And that's
Uh,
why I try and support everyone that's in this community, man.
yep. No,
Because like
I agree
I
with you.
believe all the stuff that we've been lied to. There's something fucking going on that we don't even comprehend right now, but
Yep.
we feel it. Like we feel it in our soul. We feel it,
Yep. I know it.
and I think that's why we all are attracted to these communities, like this community,
Yeah.
like
It's
with
no
Spartan
accident.
and Dean and Jen and Shapu and all of those guys, like Shawnee and Curtis, all of them.
Yeah. It's no. It's
And Patty, like there's a reason why we are attracted to that.
yeah. I mean, it's definitely no. What do you call it? Coincidence that we met. You know what I mean? We were put together as a
Yeah.
group. I
I don't
think.
believe in coincidences, man.
No, no, I don't either. So, but
It
here's
happens for a reason.
look at this one, Mr. Beast. This is Klopp Castle in Germany. I was actually here. We went on vacation to this place, right? And so you've got all this what looks like janky blocks, right? Looks like rocks basically that they built this thing with. And then right down in the corner, you've got your bricks
Oh
right
my
here, right?
God. Look at that.
This is my boots on the ground.
Holy crap, man.
That was Klopp Castle, Germany. And it's not the only one, right? So you come up here and look at here. You got more bricks, Mr. Beast?
That is so
Shoved in
cooked.
here, right?
Holy crap.
That's my son. I blurred his face out, privacy. Look, there's bricks in everywhere,
And they just
right?
randomly stick bricks whenever they build shit like that, right? Like,
Yeah, because that's what you do, right?
hey, we got some extra bricks here. Why don't we stick some bricks in there?
Shove them in there, bro, right? And here's one just right here. Why would you even bother shoving that one in? I don't even know.
Oh my god.
But this was Klopp Castle in Germany.
Dude, that is so cooked.
It's
Like,
crazy, dude.
when I see the whiteness and the black,
yeah,
it means to me that that thing was so hot. Like, it just got cooked as fuck.
right. Exactly. Yeah, it was melted, roasted, muffed up, if you like. We've got all the phrases, and of course, I've got their. Well,
we can be geologists and make up our own terms, right? So,
yes, I think so. I'm not sure whether they put this on here or not afterwards, Mr. Beast, or if it was originally on there.
is that like the Isle of Man symbol?
Yeah, it's Isle of Man, but it has a Masonic meaning as well.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I shouldn't have pointed it out because I don't know the meaning, but I'll look it up later.
Somebody will comment on it.
But any of those symbols always has some kind of meaning. You know what I mean, to them guys. We need to understand their symbols, right? So we can know what they're
That's
doing.
the whole point, right? Like, we have to understand that shit.
Yeah. Here again. So this is Clough Castle again. Other parts of it, and it's. I mean, it was bricks, bro. I mean, it was bricks. Some of it looks like rocks, yeah, but it was bricks at one point. All of it. This here in front, obviously, is something that they built in the modern era. I think maybe to try to make it look clean it up a little bit, maybe, Mr. Beast.
Dude,
Not
I believe
sure.
all of this shit was red bricks, man. All of it.
Yeah.
At one time, all of this place was red brick, man.
I often wonder if there was different sizes of bricks, though.
There could have been. I can't say that there wasn't, but there's no way they're gonna build with shit like that.
Well, the reason I'm asking, right? So let's go to this one. This is some images from Peru. You've seen these 1,000 times, I'm sure, right? So these here ones, these are puzzling.
Stairs.
Oh yeah, the melted stairs. Love it.
Yeah. Oh
right?
jeez.
We love it. But look
love
at
the fucking melted stairs because so many people walked up them and it just wore them out.
This is the reason why I think there was larger bricks, though. If you look at the size of this one, Mr. Beast, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Dude, if that swelled to that size, I mean, I don't know. Maybe it did.
Maybe
I don't know.
Like, I know when Chapu did his thing on the grain growth and all that kind of stuff, like maybe the bricks just fucking melted into each other and just created something bigger than that.
Yeah, I mean,
and pushed all the mortar and stuff away.
I've thought of that too, Mr. Beast, and it's quite possible that many bricks became one brick, right? Just kind of morphed together.
Yeah.
But the sides of this are so straight, it just doesn't make sense. But
it's anomalous, really. Like,
those are the ones that makes me say, because I'm like, I can't understand that one. I'm sure someone has a solution to it. Curtis, maybe, if you get up here, you know what I mean. But
Curtis, get up here, come on.
Yeah, granite blocks, the same phenomena. Yeah, agreed, Curtis. See, so some of it makes me think that these blocks were bricks. Okay, fair enough, but they were larger, much larger than, say, these ones down here, Mr. Beast. Because it just doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense at all.
And these three here are smaller as well. So, I mean, I think they started with a different size brick, in some of it.
It's funny because we just speculate all the time, right? Like, we just look at it and we just speculate and we think, maybe the fucking bricks got to a temperature that was so intense and the frequency was so incredibly high that they
Yes.
just vibrated into a different shape,
Oh, that's interesting.
right? Like
Huh.
they just amalgamated into a different shape, and
Huh.
it just makes you wonder. Like sometimes, like I don't know.
That's interesting. Well, I'd like, I really enjoy talking to Curtis about this kind of stuff
Yeah, with
because
the nodes and stuff,
he
because
has some good ideas about that stuff, bro.
the
You know what
node
I mean?
shit is fucking unbelievable. Like you can see the node pattern for sure. Like when you look at that stuff, you can see that circular pattern.
Yeah. And I'm sure even in these, there's probably, patterns that would be recognizable to Curtis,
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
He's good at picking out those patterns.
Yeah, he's got a fucking eye for that stuff.
Yeah. But like obviously these bricks were smaller, and this one was larger. There's no way, Mr. Beast, that brick and that brick was the same size to
No,
begin with. That's just mind boggling. Because,
it is. It is mind boggling. Like you just don't know, right?
but then here's one here that's shoved in here in amongst the smaller bricks, and like it's huge. I mean, I guess it's possible, that it could have grown that size, but I'm not sure. I'd need to see that happening. I'd need an experiment, you know.
It would be nice to be able to replicate that for sure.
And these ones here, which, I mean, point though. I guess the main point of what we're talking about, Mister Base, is that it's not the narrative. Whatever we've been taught in the narrative about this is lies. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I try and tell my kids all the time, don't listen to what they tell you. Like,
Yeah.
use your own discretion. Think about it.
Well, that's I've homeschooled my children for 20 years now, Mr. Beast, and like they're unvaccinated and they don't believe any of the bullshit that they're teaching. You know what I mean? Evolution, any of that stuff. And I think that's what we need to be doing is like our children, because they're going to be the next generation, Mr.
Yeah.
Beast. They'll
No,
carry
I
this
agree.
forward.
I agree 100%.
If we can't make this accessible to children, we're wasting our time.
I know, and that's why I feel bad when I swear too much on my video. Like, I was just like, fuck this and fuck that.
All right. Well, I swear to, man. It's just,
But if my children could watch that and see what we're seeing, like, especially with those, like, wheat grinding wheels, like, give me a break, man. They never
yes.
They never ground any fucking wheat with that shit.
No, dude. These here ones are crazy, Mr. Beast. I mean, that's the height of a man. It's taller than a man. It's like 1.5 times his height.
Yeah, it's massive.
I mean, he might be a short ass like me, of course, but but it's still pretty tall bricks.
Like
right?
5'3" or whatever.
So if that's a brick, like one singular brick that became that size, that I would need to see that happen.
Yeah.
I mean, I cannot fathom that.
I can see it like when Shapu was talking about grain growth and you seen like with bubbles and stuff, how they just amalgamate into one big bubble eventually.
I got
Like
you.
I wonder if on the bigger scale, if the heat would determine how that shape would be the outcome of that shape, right? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
like when the heat just like extreme heat, like in vibration, like we don't even know what that would cause.
I got you. So if I just count the bricks, then be 1, 2, 3, 4 layers of bricks, right? So it's either a very small wall or it goes down like very, very far down into the ground. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I guess I'm just trying to wrap my head around, how that would grow in that kind of size, But I know what you're talking about.
I think that's the biggest problem is trying to wrap your head around how that would happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like with the extreme heat and vibration and whatever else was going on at the time, like we have no idea. Like we have no clue. There's no written record of it. There's nothing.
Yeah. And as me and Curtis talk a lot about this, but it's the narrative. We're trying to destroy the narrative, right? Because then that lets you think about the possibilities. It frees your mind to think about what could happen, right?
Yeah.
We can sit here and talk all day about what might have happened, but until they break the narrative, the historical narrative that they've been given, they'll never be able to think like this, because we can talk about this without arguing, right? I mean, I can disagree with you,
Oh
and
yeah, for sure.
we can still be friends. I mean, we're still going to be all right.
Well, like some people think that they made a bag and poured shit into it and put them in a fucking, you know what I mean? Like just formed them like that. But I don't think so, man.
Right. But at the end of the day, it's like we can still be friends. Like even if you have the most different idea about what happened, like we can still talk about it because your mind is being freed. You know what I mean, Mr. Beast? It's
absolutely.
You're able to think now.
Yeah, 100%. You don't have that barrier anymore, right? Like,
right. And I think the melt is like for everyone. It's not just for. It's just.
Dude,
it's not
meltology is the foundation of truth. Once you see melt, it makes everything else. It makes everything else fucked.
Yeah.
Like it makes you question every goddamn thing that you've ever fucking existed in.
I love this one, Mr. Beast. What do you think?
Oh my God.
I love this thing, dude. It's so exposed. Everything is so exposed.
It looks like a structure.
It's bricks. I mean, it's obviously bricks.
It looks like I'm in fucking Iran or something when they blow up a building.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It's so funny to me just to look at this. Like, there's obviously bricks in this thing. They're going to say that's a mountain. God, yeah. They're going to say that's a mountain, insane. Right? But it just fell off and exposed.
Dude, you can see the fucking layers, right?
Yes, I know.
Like, you can see it.
It's fucking hilarious, man. It's fucking hilarious, but...
Like, how do geologists explain that shit? Like, how did they even fucking feel comfortable explaining it and going to sleep at night?
Yeah, I know. I don't know how they do it, man. I mean,
because I couldn't do it, man.
No. Well, I guess I do know how, because it's like money. Again, we're back to the money, right?
Yeah, money doesn't mean shit to me, though. But
not to me either, but to them guys, I mean, I guess they figure if they can get enough toys, right? Buy enough toys and satisfy themselves with the money, that their life will be worth it,
I'd rather have everyone happy knowing the truth than me being fucking happy having a fucking boat or a car.
I'm totally with you, man. Totally with you. But that's a total different mindset than what those guys are. I mean, they're all about just whatever they can buy.
Come on. Right? Like, you're going to fucking actually build that shit on that fucking
hill. Inside
the logistics there just don't make sense, man.
And this foundation looks a bit ropey. Just saying. You know what I mean? I wouldn't want to live in that room. Right? There's no foundation.
I wouldn't want to live anywhere around that place.
It's crazy, bro.
As soon as I walk in, if I fucking walk out of my room when I'm drunk or something, I'm falling out the window, bro.
Yeah. So obviously, guys, I mean, anybody knew this is a melted building. This whole thing is a melted building. The mountain, the whole mountain.
The whole thing is a melted building.
It's not just
look at the background. Like, not even the shit that's in front of us, but look at the background, right?
Yeah, up in here, yeah. I mean, it's still building.
It's so insane, man.
It's got a little bit of grass on it because obviously there's carbon-14, right? And it grew a little bit of grass, but the whole thing is a melted building, guys. Look at it. It goes inside the mountain. Either they built it inside the mountain or it's a whole building. The whole
Yeah,
thing's a building.
that's the thing too, right? Like when people go into caves and stuff like that, and they, oh, look at this cave, it's so great. Like,
Right?
dude, you don't see the bricks there. Like you
Right?
don't see the archway that you're walking through. Like,
Insane, bro.
give me a break.
It's insane. But it's just, I mean, the whole thing is a melted building, guys, and it doesn't stop here. Like it goes on down. It goes down into the.
Yeah, we don't have any clue how far it goes down, right?
We we don't know where ground level even is.
No, we
on
have
this
no
thing.
idea. And we're not even allowed to dig, right? So,
But like for anybody questioning this stuff, you know, look at it. Just look at it. It's either they carved into the side of this mountain and built this brick wall, or built this brick structure inside it, or this whole thing was a building.
dude,
Makes
there
more
is no
sense.
way that somebody built that. That was a structure that got fucked.
Yeah. You
And
know,
now it looks like that.
some of these ones are even worse looking. I mean, they're. I'm sorry, the picture's very grainy there, Mr. Beast, but those are set into the side of that part of the mountain there at an angle, right? At an
Oh, it's
angle
just
too.
drooping. It's
There's
just
no
drooping, man.
way. There's no way. I think I'm going to keep this as my icon.
That
You know,
that is definitely a good, yeah.
a good example of the nonsense. You know.
It has a little bit of everything, right?
Yeah. So here you got one. I think Chapeau's already shown this one actually, but
Like you gotta look at places like this. Like, why are there tunnels and stuff like that?
right. Where do they go to? Right.
You know, like, are they going inside the mountain and now they're caves and we're gonna go explore them or mine them out?
Exactly. Yeah.
Because there's so much gold and fucking silver and shit like that.
And like
those places were probably lined with gold.
Going from that last picture, Mr. Beast, where it was obvious, right? It was obvious. Let me just do this. Okay, this is obvious, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Go to the next one. Not so obvious, right? It's not so obvious. Because this really looks like a natural, what they call a natural mountain.
There's a lot of greenery too, right? So
right. But you see, sorry, I'll do it again, flick back and forth. That was a building. We all know you can see the layers.
You can see the building, right? Man.
So go to the next one. You can't see the layers as much, but look, there's a structure underneath.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And how? How is there a structure underneath this?
Yeah, because it makes no sense, man.
Right. Because it was all a building. It melted and encompassed the whole structure. It swallowed itself up, right?
Yeah.
And became
absolutely
looking like this.
Some places got hit harder than others, I think.
Yeah, I think so. Like Moab, you mean?
I think the intensity of the frequency and the heat was more in some places. Like if you look in, you know, the Sahara Desert and shit like that in China, like that whole area.
It's funny you should mention.
Fucking fried, man.
It's funny you should mention it because I think this is Moab right here again. This is Moab, which would be an area that really got hit hard, right?
Yeah.
So hard it became dust, like at some point.
Yeah, exactly. Just dust.
Right? Became dust. But when we look into it, we can see that there's doorways in the
there's
side
my
of the
apartment
mountain,
right there.
There's doorways. You know?
I think I lived there at one time.
There's doorways, bro. It's like, so how the heck, you know, this is the same thing. You can't see it because you've been told about the narrative, right? People have been told about the narrative.
Oh yeah, as soon as somebody tells you something that coming from a science background or something, if they tell you something, you tend to believe that shit.
Right. So that's what's clouding your mind. Guys, anybody new who's watching this, that's what's clouding your mind is the story you've been told about what this is.
I think they call that indoctrination.
It is. Yes. Thankfully, my kids didn't get any of that. You know what I mean?
All my kids have been vaccinated like multiple times.
Oh,
but I still make sure that they know, and they do know, and they fight against it so much because they don't agree with it at all.
It's very important. I think because like all the information that we gather and that we share with each other, it's only good for one generation, Mr.
Yeah.
Bates.
Yeah.
It's got to go to the next generation.
Yeah.
It's got to go. And thankfully, with mine, I got a chance to teach them about meltology. Got to teach them about flat Earth.
They get a head start, man.
Yeah, I mean, they're smart. They're smart too.
As long as they continue with that, right? Like,
well, that's the thing, Mr. Bates. You can't really determine what they're going to do. They've got to make up their own mind.
That's
just
right.
Like,
it's their mindset,
like
right? Like they have to understand.
Exactly. And it's better if they do, Mr. Beast. It's better if they do it, right? Than just doing it because you told them to do it. Because that's the same boat. You're in the same boat. You've got a narrative that you don't even understand that you believe in, right? But
you know what? Ever since I was born, I never believed in any of this stuff. Like I remember getting into arguments with my dad about the moon landing and stuff. Like I never believed in that shit ever.
Yeah.
I didn't know why, but it didn't resonate with me at all.
No, I know. There's a lot of things, bro. It was like I couldn't sit still in class in school. I couldn't. I couldn't listen. I think something protected me from taking it in. You know what I mean? The garbage.
I think, yeah. I feel like that sometimes too. Like there's something telling me, don't listen to this shit.
I might have been ADHD. I guess that's what you would call it today, right? But I don't think it's ADHD. I think it was just it was so dumb, this stuff that they're trying to teach you, that your mind just could not focus on it somehow. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it didn't make any sense.
I remember being in history class in high school, like grade 11, and questioning about the pyramids and stuff. And my teacher was just furious with me. Like, how dare you question this shit? Well, and I eventually got kicked out of the class. Like,
did you?
I just dropped it. Like, I couldn't even be there. It was so stupid.
I had a teacher, Mr. Beast, that was honest, an honest person. I'm not sure. She might have been a truther. I don't know. But she said to me in history class that you couldn't put down on your paper, this definitely happened. You could not put that.
No, it's not a definite thing.
You put this might have happened. And she told me that. I'm like,
it could be, and it could be a billion years or so before or after.
Yeah. Here's a good one here, Mr. Beast. So this is one of your dry areas that you were talking about again.
Yeah.
That got hit hard, but you can see the bricks. They're still surviving in behind it. They're powder. They're almost powder, but they're still there. I love that one. Isn't that crazy?
Unbelievable. That makes me fucking like.
They're still there. The bricks are there, and the mortar too. The mortar's here too, but it's just hidden behind that rock, or what they call rock, or mud.
What do they say, that they just repaired that or something with bricks?
No. I mean,
like, come on.
They've got to come up with a new narrative, Mr. Beast. They've got to say something like, "Oh, this is an ancient city that was covered up by a flood or something." You know what I mean? They've got to make some shit up. That's all they can do.
I know, and that's all they do is make shit up.
It's so funny. They do. But look at it. It's like there's no way. Like, I mean, how did these bricks survive? They're almost powder. They're almost done,
dude.
Right?
Like, those are bricks. Give me a break.
But what
Any masons here? Right? That's not a brick.
What a picture of evidence, right? You talk about evidence. I mean, that's like shit, dude. Look at all around it. It looks like it's just decimated.
Fucking insane.
But it's surviving. I like that one too. It's a good picture.
Good. That is a good one, man. The transition there is undeniable. Like, you cannot tell me that didn't fucking transform.
Mortar lines and all, right? It's got the mortar lines.
Like, it's right there.
Dude, it's crazy. Fucking crazy. And okay. Someone explain this one. Someone in the chat explain how they built this one. Right? It's just insane, dude.
Oh fuck.
And it's so clean. Look how tight it is up against that mountain. It's so tight,
Like it's sometimes
right?
it gets ridiculous for someone that can see that people can't see that.
That's so crazy, bro.
Like I just sit here sometimes and I just like, oh my god. Like, are you fucking kidding me?
This would it's set
What'd
up,
they do? Just pour a bunch of
uh,
concrete down the side of a building or something? Like,
dude. Like they had to carve up in there, right? They had to carve up into it to set this whatever this is, this pillar.
why would they even do that? Why would they even think of doing that?
There's no way. There's no way.
Like, even if I wasn't an indigenous person and I
Right.
wanted to build a home somewhere, I wouldn't be fucking carving a fucking hole in the side of a fucking mountain.
Right.
And it wouldn't look like that.
And then underneath here, right? It looks like this layers, the geological layers, right?
Yeah.
But it's not. It can't be. It's part of the building. It's part of the foundation of the building. But they'll say
It
that's
drives me
layers.
nuts sometimes, man. Drives me crazy.
If I ever get to talk to a geologist, I mean we're going to have a good conversation.
Dude, I met the father of a dude that I went to school with and played soccer with, who is now a geologist in California, in San Diego.
Oh my goodness.
And he's like my age and he makes fucking six-figure dollars. And he just fucking spews bullshit about fucking geology. And I tried to tell his dad that I didn't believe in that kind of stuff. And he thought I was a fucking retard.
Well, that's what we get called, isn't it? Or crazy, or
like, dude, like there's no way that brick is going to be in the side of that hill for any reason other than the fact that it was a building.
Yeah. Another one. I think maybe Spartan showed this one time as well. I think maybe, but it just proves our point, though. Again, transitioning from what looks like a just complete utter mess of shit, into
that's
like
nice.
a fantastic building.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I love
How do you? Come on, like really.
I love transitional photos. Like it's just so
like you can see it. It's like plain as day.
But now again, the bricks here to me, Mr.
And the
Beast,
angles, right? Like if you're gonna build that, the angles of how you build that are matching up with the melt,
right?
And going into the melt. So how do you do that?
I don't know.
Right? Like when you're building a brick structure, how do you melt the brick into the side of the foundation like that?
Yeah, you don't.
Like that doesn't make any sense.
My question of this would be like,
unless all of that structure was the same and something happened.
There's a good picture of the cross section. Well, it's not quite a cross section, but it's an angle anyway. So it shows you those blocks actually do go in there a bit. I know that people have said this might be a fascia, Mr. Beast, like a concrete something they put on afterwards, but it doesn't look like it to me because it has depth, like it's going right in there.
Yeah, it does. It has depth and it has structure and it has corners and it has like it molds into each other.
Like,
you know what I
question.
mean? Like it fits perfectly.
Skull was asking a question there. How's come it's only melted at certain parts and then it suddenly stops? And so what we would say to that, what I would say is that the energy stopped right there. Like it was
has a question.
Whatever made the energy stopped at this point, right? And just stopped the heat, right? And that's
we don't know what the
destroyed.
conditions were at the time because heat determines the state of matter, right?
Yeah.
Like the heat is going to determine what it's going to look like when it cools down. But at the same time, if the heat in one area is blown by a cooler or hotter air at one point or a different frequency, it's going to change. It's not going to be the same.
I'm just noticing here, Mr. Beast, on this side, it looks as though this goes backwards a bit, like this is set back, and this is protruding towards us, like the front of this thing. This might have been a gateway or something, because it does look like there's nothing behind that. You know what I mean? Where my cursor is right there. Not nothing, but it's set backwards a bit, like maybe a couple of feet backwards. It's hard to tell by that angle. But so if that was the case, then that's why it just stopped at that point. Hey, are you still there? Still there, Mr. Beast? Think your microphone cut out?
Mine?
Did it? Oh, I thought your microphone cut out.
I thought yours cut out.
No.
No, dude, well, you were like cutting out like crazy.
Was it? Maybe it was. I mean, this internet's not great over here. But just saying, like, that's maybe why it stopped
My
right there.
My internet's crazy here, so.
Because that wall was sitting a couple of feet backwards. You know, wasn't right in line with the front of it, you know. But it's really hard to tell.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Like, as a community, why would you build something like that? Like, what would be your purpose to build anything like that?
It's a good question.
Like protection?
Interesting. I know we're told that they would have built like castles and stuff for that, but like you say, it's pretty ornate, right? It's a pretty ornate building. It would have been.
That's a lot of shit, man.
Yeah.
Like, you really have to be a skilled worker to do stuff like that.
It is. It's very interesting why they would have went to such extents, you know, to build a simple building for like one person to live in or something. You know what I mean? It wouldn't have made much sense, really. Is that what you're kind of saying?
So how come people can't see that? Like, dude, why would you do that? Like, there's so much other landscape that you could build on flat ground. So you're just going to build a brick structure in between like two rocks.
Right. Yeah, why would you even do it? It just doesn't make any sense at all. No, it doesn't. And I know it's hard to see at first when you first come into it. And all questions are, we love questions, so don't feel ashamed of asking a question, because we all ask the same questions when we first came into it. Like I asked, how can a brick become 3 or 4 times the size, right? And I know Chapu has done some research on that and how things can grow granularly, right? You know, and it's interesting, but it can't happen. It can't happen. Oh, someone's asking about the gutter. Yeah, don't know. Is this original, Mr. Beast, or do you think this is added later? Why is there a random drain pipe in the middle of nowhere?
That's questionable, eh?
Right? Because it's really important to have a drainage, right, on this building that's destroyed.
Well, it looks like they get a lot of rain there, so.
Well, maybe. But yeah, I'm not sure. Racer. I don't know how to say that name.
Resistor, I think.
Resistor. Okay. Resistor. Not sure, but they had water runoff, I guess, on these buildings. You know, so it's. I wanted to do this one as well because this one's insane to me. You know, just like the amount of meltage. You know, I know for people who are new to it, they can't even see that this is a building at all, Mr. Beast. I mean, oh, he's dropped out. Still there, bro?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay. I was just saying that people who are new to it don't even know that this is a building. It wouldn't be obvious to them because of the narrative.
It looks like a building to me, though.
Now that you've been looking at it for a while, right? It is. It's obviously a building.
Like I just can't see anything but a building.
But
like, how else would that form?
if
You're
this
telling me
isn't not,
like
if it's
tectonic plates are just gonna push up a fucking rock like that?
right, or layers and layers and layers of millions of years of layers. No,
Maybe an
can't happen.
iceberg. Maybe an iceberg carried a rock in and set it there or something.
Yeah, but yeah, it does look like this one when it melted, it flowed down inside there. Looks like it flowed.
Oh yeah, you can
Must have
see
been
it.
pretty viscous at that point, right?
There's lots of nodes there too. You can see it.
Yes, yes. Where are you, Curtis?
Curtis.
Where are you, Curtis? You got to see these nodes, bro. But yeah, it looks like it flowed right in there, didn't it?
It's like a pattern, man. You can see it.
Mm-hmm.
Like once you see it, you can't deny. Like,
yeah,
there's no
agreed.
way.
Agreed.
Like your brain might be saying no, 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 but your thoughts are like, yeah, I fucking see it.
Yeah, it's just a fascinating topic. It's never going to end. I'm sorry because we'll never get to the end of this, Mr. Beast. I don't think. Unless someone
Probably not in our lifetimes.
You know what I mean?
Unfortunately.
But again, castle built into the side of a mountain again. What?
Dude, I would love to see someone build like that now.
Yes. Yeah. And
there's no way that anybody could build something like that now.
We have discussed this. I've discussed this with people who they do reconstructions. You know what I mean, Mr. Beast? They'll do they'll make a wall look like this, like a shitty wall.
Yeah.
Make it look like that. But they're only going to do one. They're only going to do. They're not going to do 100.
Yeah, they're not going to do like acres and acres of structure.
Right. I mean, okay, they do it for decorative purposes on expensive houses, right? I mean, that makes sense in this day and age. But to do all these buildings, all of them, all over the world.
Okay, how are they getting the bricks up that high? Like, if they're only using, like horses and buggies and like big wooden cranes and stuff, whatever, right, you're still not going to be able to do that shit.
I have no clue, bro. No clue. Is that your alarm going off?
Oh, that's my phone.
Okay.
My daughter's texting me.
I see. Hey, I mean, we don't have to do this all night, bro. It's
no, that's fine. I'm good.
Stop, but I just wanted to do a stream because it's been a while, since I had done one. So again, another inexplainable building that's set inside the mountain, right? I don't know how many times we need to show these, right, before people actually get it. But this is a building, and so was this too. This all was a building. All this bottom was a building, and you mean to tell me they carved it inside? They carved all this. Look how tightly it fits. Look how tight that is to the top of this wall. So they carved it to make this wall fit inside that mountain.
Yeah, they must have.
You've got to explain that.
They must have carved it, man.
Someone has to explain that. Look how perfect it is, Mr. Beast. It's so tight. It's like, precision cut with a chisel.
Dude,
it's just like it's
ridiculous. Guys. It's ridiculous, man. Unbelievable. Like, look at the bottom and then look at the top. Like, you can't tell me that doesn't look the same. Like the color of it.
Yeah.
It's the same color. Right? It looks.
Yeah. It's the same stuff. It's the same material.
It's like the top of your ice cream melted and the bottom didn't.
Yeah. Then you got this door up here, Mr. Beast, right in the middle of
Oh yeah,
the mountain. You know what I mean?
that's insane.
It's like, why?
The apertures and the
Yeah.
arches, everything. It's absolutely insane.
I know Curtis has something to say about some of that stuff with the apertures and stuff. I'm not going to say anything about that. He's got some ideas there, as well about that, and hopefully he'll be able to present those soon. But yeah, it all kind of, if you want to call them apertures, you want to call them, whatever you want to call them, but it's not natural. It's
No,
not a natural
absolutely not. It's not
formation.
that. How is that
So,
natural?
so our job, I feel, is to break the narrative, break the the indoctrination. You know what I mean, Mr. Bass? I keep saying Mr. Bass. I should say Bob.
Yeah, just say
But
Bob.
I mean, but
I'm good with that.
we're it's a narrative. It's a religion that we're breaking into. This is just a fun one that I found. It's got this Volkswagen, I guess, going down this here road.
Dude, are you
And it's
kidding
like,
me?
what the heck?
What?
Right?
How the
You know what I'm
fuck
saying?
are you building that shit?
It's just like ludicrous.
Like, oh my god.
And they'll say that they built this, Chinese.
Right.
It's
The
probably somewhere.
Chinese built it. Yeah.
It's probably somewhere in China, and it was during the Ming Dynasty, right, or something like that, right? where they had all these tools that we didn't know about,
Oh fuck.
Shit,
And a
dude.
million Chinese died while they were building this.
right. But
Poor Chinese people.
it looks like a fun road to drive on, though. I'd really like to
Fuck
try to
yeah.
drive on that road. You know what I mean?
I take my street bike on that shit.
Oh yeah. Come off the edge, maybe somewhere. Hopefully not.
It's like the fucking hill climb, right?
Yeah. Sweet. That's the end of that folder. I've got a few folders. I'm trying to get set up here for different ones. You know what I mean? Middle East. I don't want to do them all tonight. You know what I mean?
Eli says 1 grain of rice a day. Yeah.
That's right.
Absolutely right.
That's all I need.
Fuck you. You're only getting 1 grain of rice.
That's all I need.
Build.
Man, it's crazy. So this is in the Middle East somewhere. I don't know exactly where, bro, but this is one of my favorite ones. Is when the sides of these mountains, right, fall off, and you got these freaking doorways and shit in behind it. Perfectly.
You can't, dude. There's nothing you can even say about that.
No.
That's just a gimme, right?
Yeah.
Like, look at it. Seriously, come on.
Yeah. Now here's these little nodes right here. Apertures. I said the wrong word. Sorry. But I think Curtis has an idea about these. How these happen, but I'm not gonna go into it. He's got his own presentations, I think, on that stuff. So, but yeah, just the fact that there was like an earthquake or something, or some kind of, something made this fall off, and obviously revealed these friggin' doors behind it.
Yeah,
it's just ludicrous shit, man.
Okay,
kind of hand carved, right? Hand carved, right? Perfectly hand carved. Dude, what the fuck? Like,
come on.
It's a little bit damaged, of course, but those are
you're gonna carve with absolute laser sharp precision,
right?
In the time when you have no electricity, and
Nothing.
It's gonna look like that, and you're carving that shit.
It didn't have any of that.
And that
another one, bro.
Give me a break, man.
Perfectly square corner. You know what I mean? You need a laser level to do that today, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
There's no way you could do that without a laser level.
This sill up here, this little bit of, what would you call it? Edging, I guess. It's perfectly straight across too.
That's insane, man.
Hand carved, right?
It boggles my mind sometimes that people actually think that that's natural or whatever. Some people carve that shit.
and it makes me wonder. Like, I guess there's a few of these big, I would say, like formations, right, out there, just
Yeah.
like this one. I'm like, wonder what's underneath it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
What kind
like
of
how far does that go down, right?
because that looks pretty ornate right there. So
Like
I
you have all
wonder,
that fucking brick hash on the bottom. So how
yeah,
far does that go down and what's underneath?
what's underneath it? Makes you wonder. But
And how
yeah,
tall was it to begin with?
yeah.
Like it could have been so much bigger than that.
Oh, I'm sure it was. Well, this here proves it right there because it goes way above it, right? I mean,
Yeah,
there's other stuff
absolutely.
above it. So, but then it makes you kind of wonder: are these multi-story apartments? Are these multi-story? Like, there's a door right here, right?
Yeah.
So, like, how did they get into their building, into their door? You know what I mean? There had to be, like you say, airships maybe or something that would
Who
park there
knows,
and let
right?
them
Like,
in.
dude, they could have had elevators and we wouldn't even know.
Yeah, it gets your mind kind of thinking, doesn't it? Like about how high these things were and where the doors were. Like I don't, it doesn't make sense to me because
Eli says he dreams about carving all day, so
oh
who
yeah,
knows? Maybe you're a good carver, Eli.
all right, yeah, carve us one of these, bro. Wonder what height that is. I mean, that's obviously
Dude,
like
that looks so big, man.
shit. I mean, so
Even
so
if
huge.
even if I was a carver, I wouldn't want to carve that shit.
No, one mistake, right? One slip up, and you fucked up the whole building.
Yeah, like you're fucked.
The whole building is done.
Oops.
All right. So I am going to probably finish up Curtis, or sorry, Mr. Beast. I'm sorry. I'll get rid of this here. I'm sorry. I'm getting rid of the wrong people. Still getting used to this StreamYard. I'm getting rid of the wrong things, but I'm probably going to finish up for tonight. It's work day tomorrow.
No
So,
problem.
but it's been good having you on here and
Dude, it's been fun.
really appreciate you
I
joining
didn't
me
know
in
if I
here.
could do it. Like I didn't know how to do it at first.
Yeah.
And I had my son actually help me, so
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty easy going on here. So it just, it's a good place to learn how to do it. You know what I mean? If you want to, and you can even, we could do a shared stream at one point. You could show
it's
some
pretty
videos
yeah.
or whatever. So,
As
but
soon as I understand how to work all this shit.
I'm trying to keep this channel kind of easy going, not,
Yeah, it's pretty casual, man. It's
we
nice.
not getting too serious about stuff because there's so much serious stuff that goes on, Mr. Beast, and life goes on, right?
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
I like to have a laugh about it, like to joke about it.
Yeah, things happen and shit goes south sometimes, but whatever.
Yeah, yeah. But anyway, I'm gonna get out of here, and I appreciate everybody showing up. Ceiling Fan Man just showed up.
Hey, bro.
Eli is here. Thanks for coming, Eli. Beyond Language. Melanie's here, of course.
Of course,
Curtis.
no.
Curtis is here. Resistor is here. Guys,
Skull, he's a new one. Skull's a new one. I haven't seen him for a while.
Skull's a good friend of mine. Yep.
Is he?
And really has a good channel where it's pretty chill as well.
Cool.
Anybody just wants to go chill out, listen to some music, and get some entertainment, Skull
Yeah.
Asylum is the guy.
Sweet.
We have a good time over there.
Good.
And we need to because what I mean, we need to have a break sometimes.
Yeah, fucking right.
Because
having a break from all this shit is important, right? Like,
yeah,
like it's so intense sometimes, like with all the meltology and you just evidence all the time. It's so serious because it's such a serious topic that we need to have a break from that sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah. If somebody could drop Skull's channel just, whilst we're wrapping up, that'd be great. Or maybe I can drop it, can I? Oh, I hit the wrong button. I can't do it through StreamYard, apparently. I can't share it, but there he goes. Curtis
Curtis has got it.
Curtis, the Link Master, has dropped it.
Yeah.
So that's cool. Because,
top of that shit.
Skull's pretty chill, and his channel's good people. same as us. I mean, they're all truthers, free thinkers. I mean, all trying to make our way to the end of this thing, right?
Yeah.
Hopefully, get there together. But I really appreciate it.
It actually doesn't even matter where we come from, as long as we agree on one thing and we understand what's going on here. I think we all just get along naturally.
Yep.
We bring our own shit to the table, right? As long as we're on topic and
we can all have ideas. Everybody has their own ideas of things, and that's no problem. You don't have to accept other people's ideas. You don't. I mean, you can listen to them, and just don't have to accept them. I mean, that's just
it's your choice, right?
Strong, right? I mean,
absolutely.
And we're all putting the pieces together. Puzzle pieces. This thing is much larger than we are, Mr. Beast. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's a huge thing. Many pieces of this puzzle. Even we have friends in Japan who are streaming.
Oh yeah, Jiro and Ame-chan
constantly streaming, and those guys are doing a great job over there.
Love those guys, man.
And there's probably other countries doing it too.
Like, can you imagine like being from another part of the world, like another part of this realm, and thinking about the same shit we're thinking about?
Right. I
mean, that's insane.
I would bet that other countries are doing the same things. You know what I mean? Have the same streaming and stuff going on, and
like even with Patrick and stuff, like those guys are killing it, man.
Yeah, Patrick's doing a great job, and I don't know. I mean, probably other countries too, like India. I bet there's people in India doing the same thing, bro.
We don't even know, right? Not yet.
Don't know yet. But so this thing is much larger than us, and I don't think we can stop it. It's just the truth, and it's going forward. So,
there's no stopping it, right? Like, there's not going to be anything that can stop this.
Yeah,
it's just going to move forward, and we're going to be at the forefront of it because we're the first ones to actually acknowledge it.
Yeah,
and we're the ones that get looked at as being fucked up.
Yeah, well,
because we're the first.
Like I say, I don't really. We're not here for the glory. You know what I mean?
It has nothing to do with that.
Information has to go out, and people have to accept it. Don't have to accept it, but they need to. I'm just saying because it's important. We think so, but we appreciate
it. Just question it. Just think about what you're seeing and hearing, and question what you're being told.
Yeah.
Just ask a question. One question is going to change everything.
Yeah. Yeah. One question.
I still think that Shapu should make a shirt with Mel saying, "Can you hear me?" with her phone.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think one's enough, right? I mean, I don't know. I mean, maybe Melanie wants to get a copyright on that thing. You know what I mean? So we can get some money out of that.
You're going to make a lot of money off that, girl.
It's going to go worldwide, that one. So, but hey, I appreciate you guys all showing up, and thanks for just listening to us for what has it been over an hour? Wow. You guys must have nowhere else to go. I'm just saying.
I know, right?
But this is just me trying to get back into it again, Mr. Beast. We're going to start to try to do more regular. Once my life calms down a little bit, we can get into more.
Yeah, I know you got some shit going on, bro. I understand.
So we'll get it, and hopefully we can get other people on the show as well and talk about the melt again and other subjects too. I mean, I'm not open. I'm open to talking about all these subjects, especially like the AI stuff, the electric vehicles, the way they're pushing that nonsense, right?
I know it's nuts.
Acting like it's going to save the planet, right? It's like there's no planet for one thing, but it's not. Even the math doesn't work out. The charging,
no, it doesn't. It's so stupid.
The charging would shut down the country. You couldn't do it. Everybody couldn't charge their car at the same time.
Dude, if I buy an electric car, there's no charging stations around me at all.
Right.
Unless I go like an hour away from here.
So anyway, bunch of nonsense. But everybody here, thanks for coming and have a good night. I'm just going to play my outro, and then at the end of that, we will be done. Oh, and I I think Candy just showed up.
Oh yeah, there she is.
Yeah, did she? Just as we're starting to end it, she showed up.
Candy, what are you doing?
Hey, Candy, how you doing? Or Ami Chanel, I think is.
Alma-chan.
I, I, I'm not really sure how to pronounce her name, but
I think it's Alma-chan.
Ami Chan. Okay, but good to see you, and have a good night, everyone. And we love you guys, and we'll see you on the next one. Hopefully, we'll have some more organization to it, and maybe a little bit more information. So, thank
Well, I
you.
appreciate being up here, Johnny, man. It's been nice.
Yep. Well, I appreciate you, Mr. Beast. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm just going to play the outro.